Stephen, what sort of inspired you to create this this whole film and the process involved? And you clearly had a vision going into it. So
yeah, I'd just come off making a more conventional film and wondered, is there another way of doing the basic task, which is to get an audience to engage with the screen for 90 minutes? And I'd seen a lot of footage, test footage of shot from moving vehicles on motorways and in cities, and I thought it was quite hypnotic and beautiful. So I thought, could that be the theatre, that moving image, and then put an actor in there and shoot a play effectively? And would that work? Would that sustain? And we didn't know until we showed it to an audience, and apparently it does.
And for that, you had to pick an actor that you could have in a car for 90 minutes. And
yeah.
What made you?
Wasn't scared of space.
Exactly.
Get me out!
What made you pick Tom and want Tom to do this role?
Well, sparing his blushes, I think if you're going to have someone on the screen for 90 minutes, they better be good, and I think he's the best we've got. So he was the first choice, and I discussed it with him before writing it. So I wrote it sort of knowing that he would do it, and he's really pulled it off.
And what made you want to do this role and take on this challenge?
Well, Steve, and also having an artist like Steve want to roll his sleeves up and go and make a film in a very short space of time, which is a complex piece, but then not be precious with it and take a lot of risks in implementing its successful fruition. You know, really. But it was kind of like a shotgun wedding. You know, he had a script, he had an idea, and he had a couple of weeks, and he wanted to shoot it, and it's a big undertaking. So I wanted to be a part of that as well, and somebody who would take a risk with their work, and then also the assets of the actors and the ensemble and the production team that he assembled as well, and everybody was on the same palette. You know, and what became obstacles presented themselves as opportunities for solution in a purely creative environment where everybody was collaborating to do something which was other than the sort of slightly generic formula of movie making or film making today. Much more like a theatre environment. It was cobbled together, but at a very high standard already. So it would fail or succeed purely by the endeavour of the effort put in, and from the sums of the parts that made up the team. So all of that together was it was pretty non-missable. I didn't want to be not on that team, you know, because that doesn't happen that often. So all of that really.
And speaking of the team, you know, you had some great actors that are never seen on screen.
Yeah.
Tom, what was it like for you to work with them in that capacity and in those phone calls? And did you spend time with them beforehand? And then, Stephen, how did you get all those people on board?
Every actor that was involved was, you know, is a really good actor. So, and when you get actors together with a really good script, they go to work. They don't, you know, there's no ego. You just go to work, and when you have somebody in the room who knows exactly what they're doing, what they want, and the writer is in the room to not only watch you, but initially you've got to read the script for them and look for their approval. Like, was that awful? You know, do you like us? And once you pass that sort of, yeah, we like you, it's cool. People then start to file away what it is that they do in their own department, you know, whatever their character is. And that room we spent 5 days in the room together, which is a pretty standard rehearsal room environment where once people get over the meet and greet and the chemistry, they really bond, and they start to, it's like elves in there, you know, Christmas elves. They start making the toys, you know, in Father Christmas, as it were. You know what I mean? And Steve sort of sat there and went back and forth and put out the orders, and it became a sort of happy hive of creativity. And when you work again with people who literally do come to work and enjoy it, then you can start to play at a really nice standard, a really good level, and things start to grow and grow as you add on the filming and the DOP and the sound and editing right through to, you know, completion, even in the marketing. You know, this project drew out like talent from every aspect of film on something which is actually a very small and contained piece, which you know ultimately comes back down to script as well, and the influence of the, you know, largely of Steve, you know, having the ability to draw people in through his work and through his personality. So working with the actors was again symptomatic of the, you know, the beginning, which was ultimately Steve in the script, and everybody got on
fantastic.
really well.
It was red wine, I think, that drew them to it, and biscuits, because that's all that they got. I mean, it's amazing that they are pretty much the best actors around in the UK, and they agreed to do this. They weren't going to be on screen. They were going to be in a not very nice conference room from 9 p.m. till 4 a.m. night after night, and they all agreed to do, and committed to the project. That was the thing. Everyone involved committed themselves to the idea and to the project, and it was, I mean, the result is amazing. It's fantastic.
It was an event as well. It's an event for artists. You get something like that.
Yeah.
So you want to be part of that. So you want to go to that party.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a kind of artist's party, but you know, it's work. And you didn't want to miss that.
And it all came together incredibly well.